Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Martin, and on today's video we're looking at Taxi Driver. Now this is a Scorsese film, directed by him, and Scorsese is a director who I've never really gone out of my way to watch. Obviously I know about his work through Reputation and, you know, Scorsese of it all. Like I know who Scorsese is. I know he's a big deal when it comes to movies in general. Good thing is that leaves a big catalogue of Scorsese films I can potentially cover on the channel. Bad news is that leaves a big gap in my cinematic sort of knowledge, I suppose, and I don't know why I was sort of leaning towards doing Taxi Driver first. It's just one of those films I've been kind of fascinated with for a long time and wanted to see, and we'll see where we go from there in terms of other Scorsese films in the future. If you have any suggestions, please do let me know about ones that you think would make for good reactions, because my Scorsese knowledge is pretty much nil, and I assume if we keep doing these reactions, I'll be dipping in and out of the sort of Scorsese cinematography world for the foreseeable future, if that is the case. So if you do have any suggestions, please let me know about those. But as I say, right here, right now, we're going to take a look at Taxi Driver. I have no idea what to expect with this one. I think there are probably some classic moments that I'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I know this bit. But I can't muster them from my brain right from the top. So I know there are probably classic moments in here, and when they happen, I'll be like, oh, knee slap. But yeah, without further ado, let's do this. Let's get into Taxi Driver. There's a ominous looking taxi. Taxi Driver. So I literally have no idea what the plot of this film is. I have no idea what's going to happen in it. Jodie Foster? I didn't know she was in this. I'm sure there's plenty of cinephiles who might come across this video and want to punch me for not watching this before. God damn, look how young he is. People say Robert De Niro, like, always looked old, but I call bullshit. I call bullshit on that. Look at this man. Look at him. That's a handsome man.
Want to work uptown tonight? South Bronx, Harlem?
I'll work anytime, anywhere.
Will you work Jewish holidays?
Anytime, anywhere.
Man wants to get paid. I love watching older films, especially from, I mean, I love the 80s and stuff, but I just love watching 70s movies that are just these nice little time capsules. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like a vibe it gives off. It's just fascinating to sort of look at.
All the animals come out at night. Whores, skunk pussies, buggers, queens, fairies, dopers, junkies.
Excuse me?
Sick.
You can't say half of that anymore.
Someday a real rain will come and wash all this scum off the streets.
Okay, got some anger issues. I'm sensing he might have some anger issues.
Each night when I return the cab to the garage, I have to clean the cum off the back seat.
Excuse me? Don't you just like tell them to stop? Like, what are you
Some nights I clean off the blood.
why don't you just tell them to, like, fuck off? I suppose you want the money. I suppose.
You can tell me what your name is. I'm not gonna do anything, you know.
Do you want me to call the manager?
Oh, you don't have to call the manager. I mean, I'm just asking.
Troy!
All
Well,
right, okay.
shut that down very fucking quick.
Can I have a
Trying to make a connection with someone.
They cannot touch her.
Okay, so he's obsessed about someone. Someone he probably doesn't actually know.
The issue. Senator Palantine is a dynamic man, an intelligent, interesting, fresh, fascinating.
Forgot sexy.
Man, I did not forget sexy.
Listen to what you're saying. You sound
What
like you're
the
selling
fuck?
mouthwash.
We are selling mouthwash.
Are we authorized to do that?
Okay, they're just sort of
Come on, you can get
sarcastically
in trouble
ribbing on what they're meant to say about this dude.
My uncle's in jail.
Taxi driver's been staring at us.
Okay, he's absolutely obsessed with this woman for some reason.
What taxi driver?
That one, the one that's sitting there.
How do you
I know.
how do you not see him? He's right there.
No.
I'm worried about his apparent stalkerish behaviour that's going on here. Okay, I'm not entirely sure where the story's going to be going here, but so far we have a taxi driver, wants lots of work, obsessed with a woman he doesn't know.
The kind with the brush.
Yeah, it's blush on.
Is that guy okay? Do
Travis.
you need help?
She says it's love, you know. I mean, I fuck her brains out. She goes wild, you know. And she said it's the greatest single experience of my life. And she gave me a $200 tip.
I sense bullshit. I call bullshit on this story.
Travis?
What's going on here? Why am I getting such weird vibes from this scene? Okay. What's he doing? Why is he going in here? What's the plan? Why am I worried?
Coffee and pie with me?
Why?
How could anyone say no to that?
Yeah.
Coffee and pie? Come on now.
I think you need something. And if you want to call it a friend, you can call it a friend.
You need a Robert De Niro.
Wanna be my friend?
Betsy?
Travis.
Appreciate this, Betsy.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised that worked out so well for him.
When I walked in and I saw you two sitting there, I could just tell by the way you were both relating that there was no connection whatsoever. And I thought when I walked in that there was something between us. There was an
Throw
impulse.
that other guy onto the bus as quick as
So
possible.
that gave me the right.
Hey, he's no good. You don't need that fucker.
Otherwise, I never. Did you feel that way?
I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
Boom. Boom.
Where are you from?
Now just don't get too cocky.
Something. I have learned more about America from riding in taxi cabs than in all the limos in the country.
The guy next to him's like,
Oh, yeah?
you fucking kidding me?
It's true.
You can listen to this schlub.
Can I ask, what is the one thing about this country that bugs you the most?
I think that's a long list.
Whatever it is, he should clean up this city here, because this city here is like an open sewer, you know? It's that the president should just clean up this whole mess.
I mean-
He should just flush it right down the fucking toilet.
Well,
That's a strong opinion.
I think I know what you mean.
I mean, she looks about 12. What is going on here?
Tabby, just forget about this. It's nothing.
I feel like this is going to come back in a bad way. That is clearly a 12-year-old being pimped out. It's really interesting. So far, the film feels like it's not... That's the closest we've come to like a direct, bad, dark thing. But so far, it's all sort of just been on the outskirts of his life. I have a feeling it's going to start coming in. I feel there's a tipping point coming.
But I was thinking maybe, you know, you could listen to it on your record player.
Now going back to 40 years.
Oh, he's trying that smooth move. He's trying that. I'll listen to it on that your place.
This is a dirty movie.
No, this is a movie that a lot of couples come to. All kinds of couples go here.
He doesn't have a clue. It's just like, this is a movie, right?
Wait a second.
Ed? Dude, no means no. Like, how did he... I don't understand how he felt that was going to go any other way.
Hi, it's Travis.
But, like, maybe he just doesn't... Something's not registering in his brain.
Sorry about the other. Would you like to have some dinner with me?
Dude,
Next, you know, a few days or something.
like, date 2, you don't take someone to
Well, how about
watch, like, a sex movie.
I didn't tell you to write. I didn't tell you to do anything. I just said pull over to the curb. When we pull over to the curb, we're going to sit here.
Well, this isn't shady at all, is it?
So I want you to see that one because that's my wife. But that's not my apartment. But you know who lives there? Lives there.
Here we go. Racist man gets angry.
Kill her. I'm going to kill her with a .44 Magnum pistol. Just blow her right apart. That's what I can do to her face. That you should see what a .44 Magnum is going to do to a woman's pussy. You should see.
Why? Question. What is the matter with you, dude?
I kill it.
Well, that was weird. That was a very bizarre moment.
Just want to go out and you know, like really do something.
I'm getting some very awkward vibes.
I just want to go out.
He wants to release some anger in some way, and
You
he doesn't know how to, is what I'm getting
I
from
got some
his
bad
behavior.
ideas in my head. I just
There you go. It's the 12-year-old again. Save her. Save her. Use that pent-up anger for something good. Well, that's not, like, suspicious at all. Creepy taxi. Creepy. I'm following you, don't. Maybe play it slightly cooler.
Hey, Travis, this here's Easy Andy. He's a traveling salesman.
Is he gonna... I assume he's going to be buying a gun from this man. Possibly.
You got a 44 Magnum?
Yep, there we go.
It's all right.
That's a pretty fucking big gun.
There you go.
Jesus, look at it. Right. Why would you need that? Why would you need something that big?
$500. Here, look at this.
It's a James Bond gun.
That's a nice gun. Yeah,
That's a nice gun. That's a beautiful gun. That's a nice gun. That's a beautiful gun.
50 pull-ups. There'll be no more.
Oh my god, what the fuck is he doing? I can definitely see why a lot of people compare Joker to this movie. Or whichever way you want to think of it, but I can definitely see the resemblance of a dude with a lot of pent-up emotion and anger just waiting to just pop. Is he doing like the old Western, like... That's what he's trying to make? Oh my god, he is. That's ridiculous.
Saw you coming, you fucking shitheel.
He's practicing. He's got to find that one line, that good line.
You talking to me?
Okay, I know this bit. I knew there'd be something I knew. You talking to me? I don't see you.
Talking to me? I'm the only one here.
I feel like he's seeing himself as some kind of vigilante, but I have a feeling it's not going to go to great places.
Bread. That's it, man. Give me the rest of the fucking bread. Hey.
Well, I foresaw that going a lot worse than what it did.
No, man, I'll take care of it. Go ahead.
Oh, he lost his gun. Okay. Okay, well, he's down one gun. Yep. There she is again.
Be back here every night for some more, man. She's 12 and a half years old. You ain't never had no...
I fucking called it. 12. How did I do that?
Do anything you want with her.
Yeah, you're dead, man.
Rough stuff.
No, rough stuff. What the fuck? He's dead. He's dead. He signed his death warrant. I assume he's just trying to, like, find out how far this whole situation goes. Just add their names to the list. That's where my brain is currently at.
But you're the one that came into my cab. You're the one that wanted to get out of here.
Well, I must have been stoned.
Why? What do you mean? They drugged you?
Oh, come off it, man.
I mean, they probably did. They probably did drug her.
So they just, protect me from myself.
That sounds like some crazy-ass manipulation going on. I cannot get a beat on this guy. Like, he's trying to do good things, but he's also kind of crazy.
This is yours. Spend it right.
Oh, shit. That's a, threat without them even realizing it. Those glasses are incredible.
He's also a dope shooter.
So what makes you so high and mighty? Will you tell me that?
I mean, that's an honestly good question for him.
Hey, look, Sport never treated me bad. I mean, he didn't beat me up or anything like that once.
There's no saying he won't when you try to leave.
If you ever liked what you were doing, you wouldn't be my woman.
This creepo needs to fucking go. Get him out of here. Remove him from this whole world. Is he going to try and assassinate this man? Is that where this is heading? Or is that where the movie making me think it's going?
To unemployment and inflation.
Cut.
Today I say to you,
Gone hardcore with the haircut. Interesting little tuft he's got going on. I feel like the movie is trying to set me up to think he's going to try and kill this senator guy, but he's probably actually going to kill the other dude. Well, he didn't kill anyone. Which is also a surprise, I suppose.
Stuck on this.
Well, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Dead. Oh my god! Oh! Yep. Oh! Oh! As if it worked! As if it worked! Like, how has he still got any energy? Oh my god! Well, bit late, he's already shot him once. I mean, he got a bullet in the neck. How's he still, like, not on the floor? I mean, he's pretty much dead as it is, dude. He's pretty much gone. I'm still a little bit confused about why the attempted assassination on the senator. I think I'm just a bit too much of a dummy to pick up on what that was all about. This stuff, taking out all these criminals and pedophiles and stuff, I get it. I understand that.
I can't say how happy Mrs. Steensma and I were to hear that you are well and recuperating. We tried to visit you at the hospital when we
He's
were
alive?
in New York.
I feel like Travis is one of the most complicated characters I've ever seen in a film. Is that his way of, like, letting go of her? Because God, I hope so. Because apparently it took him being, like, New York's best hero for her to take any notice. That's toxic relationship written all over it. Okay, that was the reaction, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button. Lets me know that you liked it, and it lets other people know that you liked it. And yeah, all good stuff. But we're going to head into the discussion. So, Taxi Driver, Martin Scorsese, Taxi Driver. There was a lot going on here, I feel, and immediate reaction is it's one of those films I feel like I'm going to benefit from seeing again. Maybe not straight away, because I feel it goes into some pretty heavy stuff, but it's definitely a film I think will benefit from a second viewing to catch on to some of the more nuanced stuff that's being put into it. But ultimately, my main takeaway from the film is that it's very much a character study of Travis. It's this character study of a guy who's got a history being in the military. He's kind of been this wanderer ever since. He's looking for work, and he's angry and disgusted by his current surroundings, and he doesn't know what to do with all that anger and disgust and stuff. There was a few things I didn't really understand. Like I said towards the end of the reaction, if it's in there, I wasn't sure what the whole assassination attempt was about. I guess it's something to do with him wanting to shake up the system, to do something radical that might change things if he can, like, offer himself up as this martyr, if you like. I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like there's, like I said, I think that slightly went over my head. I'm not entirely sure what it was going for, but my best guess is that it was his attempt to do something big that would get the notice of how bad the city and it had become, or the surroundings, or maybe America at large, I don't know, has become, and maybe if he did something like that, it might enact some actual change into the world. That's my best guess of what that whole thing is about. But ultimately, I find Travis to be a really layered character. There's a lot going on. There's clearly some hints towards some mental anguish, like he's not all there, he's lonely, isolated, he doesn't know what to do with his emotions, he doesn't really know how to interact with people too well. All that stuff is there, and it's sort of all that stuff that's informing his choices. Ultimately, I feel like he is a guy who just wants to stop corruption as he sees it to be, but there's all sorts of inner conflict in himself. Like, again, if it's in the reaction, there were several moments where I was trying to understand if the film was putting across if Travis was meant to be racist or not, but because there were arguments for both sides of him being it or not, because race issues, it's clearly in the movie, they bring it up in visually and verbally, but I was trying to get a handle on where Travis is meant to fall on that line, because at the start of the film he's saying, I go into neighborhoods, I'm happy to pick up people that the other cabbies won't. They won't go there because they don't want to interact with black people, people from other ethnicities. They don't want to be involved with them. I'm happy to go and do it. So there's that. But then there's these weird moments in the film where he like just sees a black guy or whatever and he just like stares them out. There's the whole scene where obviously he's having a hard time trying to talk about things that he wants to do. He wants to do things and he knows that they're wrong. And then he has the talk with the guy in the back of the cab who is actively a racist man who is going to kill his wife and probably the person she's having an affair with, who is a black man. And in that scene, it seemed to communicate to me that that was Travis kind of having a conflict of conscience of himself. Like, he sees his own anger in the back of his cab and he doesn't know what to do with it, and he's confronting it and he doesn't like what he sees. That's sort of what I was getting from it. So I think it's entirely possible that the idea is that the character has these clearly anger issues and maybe racist thoughts, but he kind of hates the fact that he has those thoughts. That's kind of what I'm getting out of it, out of an initial watch of the film. I don't know if I'm right. I might be completely wrong. But yeah, it is a really fascinating character study of this guy, just who wants to act upon things, doesn't really know how to go about doing it in the right way. It is a fascinating character study in that way. And then in terms of direction, it is gorgeously shot. It is a beautifully shot film. It conveys a lot of emotion just from camera movement and just composition and all that stuff. It is a beautiful looking film, and I can absolutely see, I think I said in the reaction as well, why people compared this to Joker. They tell very similar stories, and I mean, in some regards, it almost looks like a carbon copy, just kind of taking the whole disheveled apartment that he lives in and this conscious conflict he's got going in on himself. Like, I want to act out, I want to stand against these things that I see as bad, but I don't know how to go about doing it. All that stuff, like those things are there. Obviously, Joker goes down a very, like, he turns into a supervillain at the end. Whereas here we get like a vigilante hero at the end of the piece, and it's kind of ambiguous as to what his mental state is by the end of it. Part of me feels like after it's all gone down, and especially where he's able just to drive away from the woman he was like stalking earlier on in the film, felt like to me a release. Like, the pressure gauge is gone and he's able to sort of live a normal life now. Like, that's what it kind of came across to me as. Like, he did his deed, he did something to make a change, and he's able to let go of the things that he couldn't previously. That's what that sort of came to for me. But yeah, it's a fascinating movie. It really is. It certainly makes me more interested in watching more Scorsese films. I don't know. I'm not surprised by that, honestly, because the guy's got a reputation for a reason for making good films. But yeah, as I say, I think it is absolutely a film that is going to benefit from more rewatches and sort of analysing it more. It's a very emotive film. It's interesting because I feel like it is a commentary on America at that specific time. I feel like there's still stuff in here that is relevant to now. I feel like this film is very much a commentary of America when it was being made, the sort of opinions and attitudes, and especially New York at that time. It's interesting. It is a very interesting time capsule. Like I said, it's very interesting to me to go back to these older films that were made at these times and see them as these time capsules, both visually, what the world looked like at the time, but also the attitudes, the fears, the hopes, all that kind of stuff. It just kind of fascinates me looking at it through the lens of a film, and because it's art, it's art. Art represents what people were thinking at the time, and as much as I have an interest in history, like a lot of people, I can, like, the textbooks and stuff don't really grab me, so a film can emote it in a way, even though it exaggerates quite a lot of things, clearly. But I enjoy seeing history depicted through the eye of an artist, I suppose. If that's really a legitimate thing, I suppose it is to me. The shootout scene was very interesting. Speaking of exaggerations, like, I think I was kind of expecting like there to be more violent scenes within the movie, but really there's only, I suppose, like 2 direct ones. The hold up in the like corner shop, and then at the end. But the ending shootout was like just this cathartic explosion of violent emotion that was really building up to. Slightly mad that the guy managed to get shot in the stomach outside, crawled his way across the street somehow, and managed to get a shot off on Robert De Niro. That was kind of insane how that would have, but I'm not an expert on how bullets impact people, but it looked like he got shot in the gut pretty good, so it's amazing that he managed to walk all the way there. And I think, like, again, it's like, it is an exaggeration for artistic sake, like the fact that Travis is able to get shot in the neck, get shot in the arm, take that beating, but just keep moving forward, as that is I suppose it's meant to show his just will, his sheer willpower to clean up this corruption and save this girl Iris from this life that she's been manipulated into thinking is what she wants. That whole thing made me go it's made me cringe on my insides. Like, it was just gross. Just gross. Really well performed by Robert De Niro and everyone. Like if a film can make you feel gross when clearly you're meant to feel gross, that's a good job. Like, I feel like a lot of films can go one way or the other. They either don't lay it on hard enough and it doesn't hold any weight, or they go too far the other way and it just starts to feel silly. Here, I feel like they hit it. Like, it feels like cringe, gross, like, this is disgusting. I'm really rooting for Robert De Niro's character, even though I'm not sure where he's at mentally, but I'm rooting for him because whatever's going on over here is like disgustingly bad worse. And you can sort of see how he is angry at the world that is currently inhabiting. I also really liked how the film built to it. Like, it did feel like there was this encompassing darkness around Travis, and it was just slowly bearing down in on him as the film goes on. Like, and that's part of where you don't know where Travis is going. Like, you don't know if he's going to succumb to the darkness or if he's going to go against it, which I really liked. I really liked how it keeps you on your toes in that way. It keeps you thinking, is he going one way or is he going the other? But no, I really enjoyed this. I think it's a really good film. It's a film I'm going to have to watch again at some point and see how those nuances work on me with a second viewing and pick up on anything else. But I really enjoyed it. I did really enjoy it. So I'm going to rank this one. It's a very different film to what I've watched thus far on the channel. I feel like the closest, really, it comes to in terms of tone and style and what it's about is Jewel, which is the first film I reacted to. Like, about a guy on the edge and like how he reacts to that. I feel like that's what it's most similar to out of everything I've watched so far, and maybe The Witch, but The Witch is obviously a horror film and played very differently. So in comparison to those, I definitely liked it more than Jewel. Sorry, Spielberg, I just did. I like this more. I feel like I could give this a 9. I feel a 9 out of 10 is a good score for this. I feel like there were some things that maybe I'm just not picking up on that going over my head. Like I say, the whole assassination thing is sort of guesswork on my end. I don't know if that's just me being stupid or if the film just wasn't communicating what that was to me very well. I'm not sure. Maybe it's on me. I don't know. But yeah, ultimately, I think a 9 out of 10 is good. It's good for this. And I really enjoyed it. Very interesting. Good stuff. Okay, that was the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. Let me know, let other people know. It really helps the video and the channel out. If you have anything to say about this reaction, or if you want to tell me what you think of this movie, what you take from it, what you get from it, please, I'd be fascinated to know. And if you are interested, down there will be links to Twitters and Instagrams and stuff if you're interested in that kind of thing. It's just there if you want it. You don't have to go there if you don't want to. Other than that, please do subscribe if you enjoyed yourself, and then you won't miss any future videos. But other than that, I will catch you on the next one.